I think M&R has probably been on stop for a while because I've been poorly, but it's going for it now, and it's really good how it's changing and how we're learning. And again, I think getting to specific goals in your business. I've set another goal now. So I've got to one of the goals from 2 years ago. We've got to that goal. Now we're on to another goal, but it's so mad how it changes out from different stages. And you think that it's going to be easier when you get to the stage you want to get to, and you get to that stage and then you think, shit, I need to get to the next stage. So it's continuously going. I don't think I've ever said, oh, I'm dead happy where we're at now. I am happy in the sense, but I just think as human beings and business owners, we just push it even more and more and more. I suppose it's a bit like if you've got your children and they're into sport and things like that, you might push it into a situation where you're probably doing a bit too much on them. Well, I do that on myself. Over the past 18 months of being poorly and having the flare-ups and the condition I've had, I think by actually focusing and concentrating on the business instead of concentrating on all the negative stuff that has been happening to me health-wise, it's helped me to get through it because it's kept me very, very busy and took my mind off a lot of actually what's going on, like having to go private at the hospital. It's been difficult. It has been really difficult. I've had quite a few flare-ups, which anybody knows me, they're horrific. It's like sunburn and rashes all over my body that leads me to be in a hospital with intravenous steroids and Piriton, you know, antihistamines that they put me on because the actual stuff on the shelves and the effective editing I take doesn't touch it. So that's happened quite a few times where I've been into A&E. So that's had a big impact on it. This is why I always think I can't believe that we managed to grow up. You know, we've done probably about 80 boilers more than we did last year, and possibly more than that. I'll have to get statistics for it. But
why do you think that is, mate?
Why don't I know why it is? It's because when I set M&R up when I was 18, I had loads and loads of drive, and it's kind of got what it were through persistence, turning up, doing it. So to get that round, I think everybody expects it to happen overnight. Well, you can make it happen overnight. This industry can happen overnight. If you've got probably best part of £500,000 spare, you could probably do it and rapidly do it by basically investing into vehicles, staff, team, employment, and then just buy lots of advertising, etc. But you'll burn through that cash. I would say you probably would lose it. You wouldn't make at the very beginning. You might break even if you're lucky. But I think you've got to go through a stage of, I can't make it work, my head's falling off, you know, because at the end of the day, let's face it, all the successful people, like Lincoln, who's on my podcast, he started somewhere and he's huge now, huge company. And he's like kind of said the same thing. It's hard work, isn't it, really? You constantly got to be on it. You've got to have your team, you've got to trust your team. But before you get that team, you've got to go through all these pain points to understand it. Because how would you know? You're a qualified engineer, you go to college for that, you do loads of college work, get qualified at engineer, you then want to be the best engineer, which unfortunately in my opinion doesn't make the best businessman. In fact, it hinders you, because most of companies that have got a guy running them that's not actually as personally attached looks at statistics, figures and customer feedback. Well, that's all you really need to do, don't you, to make sure it works. Whereas an engineer, you kind of want to be the best. Someone says to you that fucking John's better than you, something, you're like, oh no, so that holds you back. So I personally think the reason why we've got where we are is because after getting it, I realised that I can't do everything, so I've got to start letting go. So I've got a couple of lads doing different things. When I started to spend more time training them, spending time with them, spending time with the team, still not perfect, I don't ever suppose it will be. So I think that's what's changed, because I got ill and decided I can't keep doing this. I need to basically be able to do this without doing all the work myself, so I can then grow it and sit on the top side of it, watch it like how we're filming now and stuff. Like I could never have done that, you know, at the beginning. But going back to what I said, you've got to go through all them pain points to understand how business works. You've got to be an engineer for 10 years, going out doing it, making mistakes, how feedback customers, because how can you go to an engineer? It's took you a long time to do that, and you don't know what you're doing. So you can employ someone to do that, which someone at my level in a company would be on, I would have thought, quite a lot of money, especially if you're employed, maybe not as a director, but as employed certainly. So I think if I was to do that, you can't go to an engineer and say to him, oh, you've took ages to do it, because they'll be like thinking, what the hell does he know? He's is a pen pusher or is this, but when you actually from an industry and you've created something, they listen to you because they know damn well that you know exactly how long that takes, and the only way you can learn that is by being on the tools. So I think what made us jump is when I fell ill, I decided I was sick to death of doing everything, because I literally was doing everything: accounts, marketing, advertising, brochures, vehicles, sign writing, IT, tax, claims, insurance. The list goes on and on and on, because you're debating like mobile phones. BT had a £12,000 dispute with them. It took me ages to sort it out with just one mistake on their side, which got sorted. They give me all the money back, but until they give me the money back, that was a massive headache for me, because it was getting up to we went to double figures and I weren't getting any further forward. And they're not bothered, because if you don't pay them, they just take your cut. Guess what? They'll win you in court until you prove them wrong, and they got more money than you. So there's lots of things when you start stepping over these lines, like what happened to me the other month when they held my account 150,000 quid. Avalon just literally froze it and said, you can't have this money because you've made a mistake. And thank God they've worked with us just rather than being against us, and they've sorted it. They've basically now they were down to about £10,000 what they're giving me back, but that is a big hit. I had no idea what to do. If it weren't for the Richard that's on the podcast, I would not have been able to sort that, because I realised, shit, I'm in the big world now. So what I'm trying to say is that as I'm growing into a world now which is more about business and working on a business rather than in a business. Some of the key phrases that I've learned and some of the short abbreviations for things, I never used to like pretend I knew what they knew. Now I know what they know. So when people are talking about it, any business model, I'm learning about it, because I realised I am a heating engineer and I'm plumbing. That will always be my passion. But I'm a business owner, and our business is, it's quite a dent now. It's making a dent in this area of, of what we do and how many customers we've had. And we're a lot more professional. We have to be, but I'm just learning every day.